We've never had a way for people all around the world to watch our videos, and you'd like for it to be instantaneous, available on a click, maybe just through like a browser for the web, and then it's just there all the time until Bloomberg takes it down. But, well, we can all dream. And until that day, copyright strike this, you fucks. This was once a $15,000 disc duplicator, equipped with 4 Blu-Ray drives and the simplest of robotics. No intelligence of any kind, artificial or real. It's just a computer science problem to move discs around the machine as they're duplicated. With Sony's abandonment of physical media and its recent demonstration of how it'll take away digital streamed content that you've bought and paid for, we became enamored with the format that our team grew up with: media on disc. But just because we grew up using it doesn't mean any of us knew the technicals of how it works. With all the dystopian music in this video made by Aaron Pauley for us, join us on our adventure to learn and understand an art being lost to time. In this multi-part series, we're going back in time to the pre-streaming era to learn about digital formats, encoding, optimal containers and file sizes and frame rates, how disk burning works, how thermal printing works, and more. We're even exploring 3D printing to make Blu-ray and CD cases for this project. Sony's decision to finally kill physical media gave us the cue we needed that it's time to learn how it used to be done and learn one more method of protecting your ownership of content. Fuck you, Sony. Sony says that people don't want to own their media anymore. They don't want to have discs or ways to store and keep their games and their media. No, they want internet only for their devices and their games. And Rockstar and Sony, and it seems like increasingly companies, are really trying to move you away from any kind of ownership of any kind of, well, really anything, but especially media. And unfortunately what that means is, long term, if they turn the service off for the PlayStation 6 or whatever, then you might not be able to get that nostalgia trip going back and playing old games. You might not be able to show your kids what it was like you could with something, say, an NES or a Game Boy. And so there's a game preservation problem, like talked about with Stop Killing Games. But there's also just the general unshittification problem of paying monthly for everything and continuing to reduce the ability of ownership for the consumer. Vitalii, this is going to take forever. Can you help out a little bit with removing some of this? Okay. That's probably on me. I probably should have given you a better tool for that. But well, I guess your hands are kind of full. So anyway, the concern of not just games preservation, but it becomes like a cultural thing. It's important nostalgia for people. It's memories, and so this is our disc duplicator. That's right. These things used to go for tens of thousands of dollars. This is a 4-disc duplicator. It does Blu-ray, it does DVD, it does CD. We're gonna have actual music on actual CDs in cases that we 3D printed, or we partnered with Aaron Pauley for making the music for a lot of our videos. And we're gonna bring back physical media in our own way. That's right, you heard it here first. Gamers Nexus, the technology coverage channel that operates basically exclusively on YouTube, is going to sell DVDs and Blu-rays. It's still in there. I haven't completely lost it yet. It's kind of wandering right now, but bear with me. We're gonna learn the process. I remember NTSC and PAL. I couldn't tell you how I should render a video to it. This whole thing's gonna be a legacy media retro learning process with some really cool machines. In this case, a duplicator. That didn't work like I wanted it to. That was supposed to go on the bottom. Oh look, Wait, if the CDs don't work out, then this can double as my house when I live on the street, because I bought $6,000 of blank discs from everyone who still had them on the internet. Round 2. Maybe with this out. Why do they stop flapping? Okay. Am I an unboxing channel now? Are you happy? I've become what I hated. I'm opening a box on camera. You know what, on second thought, cut all this from the video. I hate styrofoam. This right here, this represents Sony. That's right. I actually still need that, so I'm just gonna... That looks cool. Shit. Cool. We brought you this video with store.gamersnexus.net and our upcoming actually human-crafted music, videos, documentaries, and movies on CD and Blu-ray, listed now on the store. These include a special black market disc version with a booklet containing a written text adaptation available in magazine-style print. We also have another disc case with retro I/O floppy internal styling that we designed and 3D print for each order, including a spinning knob for mechanical functionality. We're using this one for our EVGA Finale series, educational factory tour episodes, and documentaries like our Intel Fab Tour. Finally, our third version is an audio CD that features all of the custom music we hired Aaron Pauly from Of Mice and Men for. When we asked him what genre to categorize the mix of cyberpunk and chiptune, he told us human crafted. Every track in this video is from the music CD. In this upcoming educational series, we're trying to really elevate actual artists, editors, camera operators, and writers who contribute to the pieces. You'll get to see us stumble through and learn how to bring back old media for our most popular videos. The AI GPU black market and smuggling documentary just turned 1 year old, so we're launching a special disc version of our Bloomberg upload. It features an in-house and human-designed 3D printed custom case, a Blu-ray disc with the documentary on it, a second disc included with bonus videos, and our Bloomberg screenshot and peak irony, and several of our disc collections also include options with USB drives containing high-quality MP4s that beat our YouTube quality while still making it physical. The license for all of these is that as long as it's for personal watching or public school use and not for commercial use, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Rip it to your own server at home if you want, use the music in your sick gaming edits to share with your friends, whatever. We're not putting DRM on it. This is a great way to support us directly and get physical media in return. We're entering production for these now. We'll be burning the discs in-house and printing the cases in-house over the next 3 months, at which point we'll begin shipping them. Head to store.gamersnexus.net to learn more. This can take 500 discs concurrently. There's an arm that can grab them and deposit them into these writers, these read writers. We copy to the discs for movies on Blu-ray. We did our, for example, black market on USB drives previously with the 128 gigabyte drives. Now we'll have them on discs, unironically. No DRM, no bullshit. Buy it, rip it to your server, I don't fucking care. As long as it's for personal use. If you want to store it on your media server and just use it there or whatever, then go for it. Ah, those are just loose. Perfect. This is heavy. This is a lot heavier than the other one. This is a printer. Specifically a printer for discs. And I'll just take this out of Sony's neck one more time. This whole thing for me is going to be an exercise in learning something I should have learned a long time ago, which is like proper media standards beyond render H.264 MP4 put on YouTube. Looks good to me. And so, you know, I'd worked with some of them in the very early days. Mostly when I was doing hobby stuff, I had a VHS, actually a tape camera was the first one I'd used. It wasn't mine, it was my parents', but that was the first one I'd used. I had a mini DV camera at some point, a couple other weird ones, but it's been a while, and I just used Nero and whatever profiles Nero had loaded at the time. So compression's gonna be the real challenge. It's like Blu-ray discs you can get, I've learned, I'm not an expert in any of this. I've so far learned, feel free to add more info. 25 gigabyte, readily available. our tariffs movie, our black market movie on GPUs, those are both 100 or more gigabytes, like 107. So that'll be a challenge. There's 50 gigabyte dual layer Blu-ray drives, which this can also do. Those are very expensive though, comparatively. I don't remember the exact multiplier, but it's a lot more. And then there's 100 gigabyte, which I didn't know existed, I don't think, Blu-ray drives. I think they're quad layer, but we're not gonna get those. Those are, nobody will buy those. I'm not even sure, like they have to have compatibility issues. We got a couple more boxes though. I'm gonna need this again. Oh wait. There you go. Don't run with this.
Holding a weapon in the hand.
Don't run with this.
And you're charging at me.
No. Actually, speaking of, I came in here for something else, but speaking of CDs, Andrew has been working on the design for the top case. Damn. That's pretty cool. Which one's the new one? This one or both?
Yeah, this one's the smooth plate.
Cool. Yeah, so we're working on getting the Dystopia Smiley on there. It's been prototyping some jewel cases for Blu-rays, DVDs, and CDs. We're gonna make everything here. It'll all be made in-house. The discs, well, I mean, those will be made in the factory, but then I'll write to them here. And unless you have a skill I don't know about.
Not that I know about.
All right, so let's look at the case so far, the prototype.
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. Just has the USB in there, and the CD is easy to pop out and put back in.
It has a massive hinge, I guess.
Much more sturdy than most other CD cases.
Yeah.
For the hinge, at least.
This is what Andrew's been working on. What was the most challenging part so far?
Definitely just all the measurements, getting everything fitted together properly.
This outer ridge to stop the bottom of the CD from rubbing on the plastics?
Yeah, the center one too, just to keep the whole, like, where all the data's kept safe from scratching, yeah.
Yeah, and then you do these cutouts so it can be removed easily?
Yeah, to fit your finger underneath. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of small things.
We have some other ideas too. I don't know, it might be done by the time this video's up, but you're getting to see the early stages of it. So, and then this is gonna be the some version of the front of this particular one. And we'll do others, so thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, this is most of the boxes. It's knife time. There's a bunch of stuff. There's even more boxes out there, but let's see what this one is. They're gonna be mixed. So it's actually kind of difficult to get like large quantities of the same disc right now. Can't imagine why. And I bought a couple different suppliers. It's pretty fun. I did research like verbatim versus a bunch of others. Funny seeing names of companies I haven't seen for 20 years or more. All right, so this is Blu-ray. I couldn't get an RW that made any sense. Thermal printable with a hub. Cool. I'm gonna have a lot of learning to do on these. Learned something pretty cool about duplicators versus replicators. We have a duplicator. The duplicator, well, it duplicates, but the replicator, that process, when I was doing research, like, I know Blu-ray and DVDs have had compatibility issues over the years with different players and consoles and whatever. Just trying to figure out how do we basically guarantee universal compatibility. And I came across replicators after finding the duplicator. And I was like, oh, okay, this would guarantee that it's 100% compatible with everything. How much is that? This is mostly abandoned technology other than the major companies that are still making stuff, but you know, consumers not as much anymore. And it turns out it's not possible for me to do that. So replication, from what I understand, and this is my Wikipedia page entry read, is they basically make like a glass mold of the disc and then make the disc with that mold. And what that does is gives it some physicality, like height differences, so that the layers can be read on every device in a particular way, as opposed to writing on a flat surface, and then you're just hoping that the compatibility lines up for everything. So anyway, we're not doing molds, we're doing duplication. 4 packs of 50. Now, those are the same. Those are DVDs. Let's see what this is. This is good packaging, I'm impressed. 8.5 DVD-R dual layer. More BDRs, 25 gigabyte. Okay, I think we kind of get the picture. So there's 50s in here, and then there's a lot of CDs. Yes, these are, we bought a few different kinds. These are CMC Pro 100-piece CDs. We will do those for the CD with Aaron Pauley. Cool, all right. This will get us started. All right, my next steps in the, I guess, GN Media Factory build that we're doing between the 3D printable stuff, the drive, you know, the jewel cases, and the media and the USB drives. My next step is going to be learning this, so I don't think we want to live by that. Well, if I fall, I'll impale myself 27 times. Sick, look at that. That's awesome. Day 2. I'm excited about this. We're gonna set it up. Look at all the discs, isn't it great? This is a mix of Blu-ray, DVD, CDs. This room is where it's gonna end up. So it's gonna stay here. We'll be able to see it, the machine from the window walking down the hallway, which will be good, just keep an eye on it. It's very loud in this room because of the server. So for this video, we're gonna move it down to the studio temporarily. So let me do that before we finalize the setup. All right, we're gonna drop it right here. I need some other stuff. We're definitely not leaving this like this. Oh, fuck. Video can't convey how dense this is. Okay, it is on there, right? And when I read the instructions, it said, just put it on there and then pivot it later for zeroing out how the arm interacts with it. So we've done that. Mouse and keyboard. We'll just run those into USB 2 over here. And then USB type B. I think this one is what they recommended, USB 3. Okay, monitor. That's good. It does have VGA, that's nice and convenient. What's it gonna do? We got a red light. We got Asus. Oh no, oh God, send it back. Oh, I hope this never has a warranty issue. I'll be really screwed. It's time. I'm hearing printer noises over there. Or dying noises. All right, time to figure this out. So I have put a few things on here for software. I was doing some research on writing discs. The first one I'm gonna do, because the easiest, is a CD audio disc. Not a data disc. So I think most people in our audience know, but there's audio discs, there's data discs. There's also Blue Book, and there's like multi-type, where technically you can hide audio disc properties in a data disc on a separate track, like track 1. And anyway, we're not doing all that. So, so I put Fubar 2000 on here, which will basically be our Windows Media Player kind of replacement. And then I also put Image Burn on here, which will let us write our audio CDs. And then we're gonna probably duplicate from that. So let's start figuring this out. So the printer is still initializing, I guess. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that, BPR 2000, is that when the software was written or is that when it was last updated? Oh, VinPower, okay, I think they're still around. Look at that. The logo is the menu. Well, that's an XP power icon right there. Oh, it's alive. It's gonna grab you and shove you into the disk drive, Vitalii, and transport you into the Tron world, which is fitting because that is actually the story behind the disc we're gonna write today. So Aaron Pauley, who authored all the music for a lot of our investigations, we've got two types of music. We have cyberpunk and we have chiptune. Nice. Okay, so it's checking the, it's zeroing out. So the two types of music, basically, I contacted them, I was like, we need a transition, they're too different. So we need like you got sucked into a computer in the cyberpunk dystopic world or something, and then it turns into like an 8-bit chiptune music. And so he does a slow fade from the cyberpunk style, like electronic music, into the 8-bit style Sega music. So, okay, so that was zeroing, I think. So we're gonna go to, the instructions said to calibrate it first. So I calibrate the drives, okay. Oh, uh-oh, oh shit. I probably should have put stuff there. Hang on, wait. Wait! No, I'm not ready yet. Okay, we're gonna, I can head it off at the pass. Are they right side up? Yes. Nice. So if you look top down, what this is doing right now is waiting for us to tell it if that is aligned or not for the automation. So it needs to line up, and if it doesn't, these buttons will move the arm a little bit. So I'm gonna click this and we can pan over to the arm first. I'm gonna click this arrow. Give it a second. As that moves closer to the camera, and if I click it back, and the amount it's moving right now is like, I don't know, it's like fractions of a millimeter. It's very small. So that adjustment the manual is saying is to get the disc to line up on the center. So let's save. And it's gonna reject the disc. Yeah, cool, it's working. This is very exciting. Okay, next, we're gonna calibrate the printer. Nice. Oh, it remembers where they are. How does it do that? Is it like a pressure sensor? How does it know where they are? So I think those clips grab it. They like move in this channel that they're in. So they've got a little bit of room. That looks like it'll grab. I'm gonna leave that one alone and hope we just got it right. Let's save. It's gonna reject that disk now. Bin to align the bin position. All right, well, let's figure that out. Yeah, it knows where they are. Okay. I think we're trying to see if when it lets go up here, does it fall onto the storage tower. Let's just save it and see what happens in use, I guess. All right, let's load it up. Let's get them all on there. I need to handle these with gloves next time. Oh, that is some fingerprints on the top. That's not gonna look great on the print. Oh yeah, I remember I used to do it this way. Oh, it's been a long time since I've done that. You too?
Yeah, I think I start remembering that as well.
Yeah, it's all coming back. It's been a long time.
Jeans would do something as well, like
yeah,
if you like wipe it on them.
Yeah, because the I don't know if this was true. The rumor, the story was that something like jeans would abrade the surface and like re-flatten it. Let's do this without touching the top or the bottom this time, like a civilized human. All right, let's load the whole thing up. Let's do all silver. This was the good stuff. If you got a spindle that tall, that was like, you were eating good. You keep those for more video games.
The good old days when the games used to weigh around 700 megabytes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Caesar 3. Let's just start with that first before I commit to a mistake that we write across like 1,000 CDs. It's the problem with automation, I guess. First, we need a disk that we can copy from. So we've got disk-to-disk transfer. So we copy from one, and then I'm thinking it'll store that in memory and write to everything. Hopefully it doesn't continue occupying a drive slot. It can do disk to image. That's not gonna help us for a music CD. We can burn an image, not gonna help us. Maybe more of an operating system thing. Verify is useful, print only, disk label we need to do later. So the problem is, this is all data. So like this says data to disk image or image. The data's not what we want. We don't want data to disk. That treats the disk kind of like a USB drive. Just can't write to it. I mean, if it were RW, you could, but it's not. It's read. Patrick and I were talking about this. The question was, most players, modern especially, can just treat a data disk like an audio CD, except you have more space and it's kind of easier to work with. And in Windows, you get all the names of the tracks instead of just track 1, track 2, track 3, whatever. But you lose compatibility with the really old devices or with cars or whatever. And so I think, for making CDs, I think we do it the right way. I think we do an audio disc for this. And the idea is you are able to play it, and hopefully, I can't guarantee this, but hopefully any CD player from any era that could play, like a modern CD. So we need to do right. So this is image burn, which I have not used in fucking 20 years. And source, I've already got our music on here. All right, so these are our tracks. So Aaron Poly, he has some new ones on here we haven't put in videos yet. Neon Style, I haven't put in one as of right now. Thriving and Growing is really fun. This one's got Jensen Huang sampled in it from the 1080 Ti launch. I want to be clear, that's a parody. He is not a musical artist. There are laws about that. This is a parody of Jensen Huang. That's okay. Okay, I think I got it. Q file, that's what we want. Okay, so here's the problem. The problem with all this is we need the names of the tracks to show up when you put it in like a car CD player or in an actual CD player, and it can display the track names. I'd really like the artist to show up because we want to make sure Aaron Poly's name is, he made the music. I'd like it to be there. And also the album and all that stuff. Problem is when I burned this, I'd forgotten that the metadata doesn't show up in an audio CD. It'll show up in a data CD, but not an audio CD. But then you put common CDs you buy at a store in a disk drive and it shows up. And so Patrick and I were doing some research on it and using CD players to test. And so this is all shit I'd either forgotten or I maybe never learned some of it. But we have our properties here. So this is our metadata. So we've got the song author, the album, Cyberpunk, all that stuff. And it doesn't show up when you burn. And what we found in our research is the ancient art of CD-text, which is what allows this data to show up on devices that support it, even though it's not a data disk. And so I've learned there's two formats to this, I guess, primarily. I'm not an expert in any of this. So like, if you want to actually know this stuff, I'm sure there's people in the comments who tell you better. But what I've learned in my couple hours of research is there's Red Book, and then there's a couple others like Blue Book. And these are, I guess, standards or formats. And so Aaron wrote all this stuff to the Red Book standard, which as I understand it, is like the bog standard. There's basically no data on your audio CD, and you just burn the tracks to a disk, and you get track 1 through 16 or whatever. And then there's kind of like a not standardized way that everyone just kind of agreed to do that some people have called Blue Book, where it combines some data and some audio CD. And then there were mixed standards that Patrick reminded me of, where with some games, you could take a video game disc, and you should try this if you haven't, and you can put it in a CD player, like a disc that has an EXE on it. You put it in a CD player, and if the authors of the disc wrote it such that it was both an audio and a data disc, which I think is called a mixed disc, then you could play the sound from the game, including music and sound effects, in a CD player. This is also how you got hidden tracks, like Castlevania has one, where if you put it in a different device, suddenly you get a song that's not actually in the game, or vice versa. So pretty cool shit. Like, they did a lot of clever things to isolate stuff and make use of the formats. It's really intriguing history. I think we do tag. Yeah, we want tag, so there we go. So we got performer and title now. Just click OK. Nice. Cyber dystopia. Okay, cool. Wow, look at that. Nice. We got all the actual disc information in there. Gives us the time. So we got 40 minutes of music on here. That's more than I thought. That's pretty fucking good. Oh yeah, it's got the names. Hanukkah the Sledgehog, which I want to be very clear, is legally distinct. Streets of Not Rage but Streets of, how old is this reference? We have Genesis. That one's a little less creative, I guess. I don't think they're gonna chase us for that one. Cruisin', Tactical Sneak, Hacksaw. Okay, cool, looks good. Okay, we can close, no, we need to write a disc still. How do I guess I need to put a disc on the drive, don't I? Go for drive 1. This is gonna be our master. We wanna verify, go. So our completion bar, this is quick, man. This is quicker than I ever saw it when I was writing my own music CDs to drive to school with. All right, did it work? Let's find out. It worked. Look at that. New. Written to. Label. Let's print on it. I'm gonna put it back on the top there. Disc label. Let's go for the black background smiley. Okay, that worked. All right. All right, so we've got our circle here. That's our keep out zone. I mean, you can put stuff there, it just won't print. So we have hub printable discs, which means it can print on this plastic ring, and the thermal printer can hub print. Obviously, you can't print in the void. There's nothing there to print on, but the transparent ring we can. So I'm not exactly sure where the cutoff is for what, but I'm gonna try to size this so that we can like see most of the smiley face. This is our cyber dystopia smiley we made. It's on a shirt too. So there we go. We're gonna try and print this now. Oh, enable printer. We got printer noises for real this time. Oh, the gears are turning. We have our first audio CD. How does it look on silver? Cool. So that's on silver. I'm liking that. I'm liking the, feels like a real CD where you can actually see the CD itself. But we have some white label ones, so let's see how those look. So this is what it looks like going in. And this is what it looks like coming out. The robot needs a name. If everybody could please help me pick a name for, his name is not Disky, okay? We need a serious name for a very serious worker here. So those are our options. I think I'm gonna do both and not necessarily guarantee one because the supply is a little tricky to get. So it might be one of those like, if the suppliers only have the white label ones, we buy those. If they have silver, we buy those. I don't know, you can let me know what you think in the comments. Right now, I'm thinking default to silver. And then, you know, if this is what we get for supply, we'll use these. So I'm not gonna promise a specific one, but let me know what you prefer and I'll try to at least lean that way whenever we can. Very cool. Does it work? That is the question. Does it play music? There we go. Ah, yeah, nice. Sick. Look at that. Everything up here we can ignore. That's cool. Oh, yeah, it's got the artist tag and the album art tag, or the album tag. It's got the track names. Wow, this is sick. I'm surprised it actually pulled that data in. I guess CD text is working. Oh wait, the microphone's on my chest. Very cool. Cool. All right, this is a good spot to cut for now. Let's see how many it can do after we walk out of here. I come in 12 hours later. It has completed 361 discs. And out of that, it had 7 rejected. So, not bad. I can't do that math off the top of my head, but pretty low failure rate. All the rejects do look like actual rejects. I don't know, some supply issue or whatever, but with that done, our first production run of these, it is now time for me to move this into the server room and get it set up. We have a ton more to learn in this series. It's been really interesting. The rendering side has been an absolute nightmare so far, and we haven't even gotten into that yet. We're learning about color space. Never needed to know that for YouTube. You just kind of hit render with the settings, the .mp4, and it all works. So we're learning that. We've realized that using NVIDIA's hardware encoder is causing tons of problems for playback on the PS5. As I'm recording this, we don't have a solution to that. We're going to record that tomorrow with Patrick to try and find a solution to the problem. We'll have to go CPU encoding probably. We also need to figure out how to get chaptering onto this, so we found some software to try. A lot of it's really ancient, but building chapters and Blu-ray menus and all kinds of stuff that I just took for granted growing up. And in some cases I did it in the past, like with the Nero burners and things, but damn, it's been a long time and I don't really remember how I should do any of that at this point. It's been probably close to 20 years since I was really heavily burning discs. Anyway, it'll be a fun journey, really educational. I'm excited to learn new stuff about important standards that are still relevant today, clearly. Tannen on the team has been on the other side of it, where he's been buying a bunch of discs to use as a source of truth for videos that haven't been altered by the publisher or the streaming platform. So you can check back for the series as we figure out how to do this stuff and try to bring back a bit of a lost art, at least for our team. So go to the store if you want to support, store.gamersnexus.net or patreon.com/gamersnexus, and subscribe for more. We'll see you all next time.